The transport shuddered, a deep metallic groan that echoed through the stripped-down cargo hold. He tightened his grip on the worn handle above his head, his boots magnetically sealed to the deck plating. Outside the single reinforced viewport, the swirling blues and purples of the FTL tunnel streamed past, a silent torrent. He was going home. Or what passed for it, not. His memories of the last cycle were a blur of frantic motion and stark terror. The luxury starliner Celestial Bloom had suffered a catastrophic cascade failure near the border of the consortium. His unit, a private security detail for a corporate executive, had been among the first to evacuate in the life pods. His pod, damaged during launch, had veered wildly off course and crash-landed on a small, forested moon in an uncharted system. The survival had been hard, a daily grind of finding water, setting traps for the six-legged vermin that passed for fauna, and trying to get the pod's distress beacon to function with its fractured power core. It was on the 7th local day, while scouting a rocky ridge for a better signal point, that he heard the sound. It was not an animal sound. It was a high, trembling keen of pure fear. He found the source in a shallow gully. A vehicle of elegant organic design, like a smooth seashell, was crumpled against the basalt rocks. Nearby, a creature was cowering. It was small, perhaps the size of a human child of 6 standard years. Its skin was a delicate pattern of silver and soft gray, like dappled moonlight. 2 large, luminous eyes, entirely black, were wide with terror above a small, lipless mouth. It had 4 slender arms, and it was clutching one of them, which was bent at a wrong angle. It saw him, a hulking figure in scarred tactical armor, and its keening hit a new pitch. It tried to scramble back, but its injury made it cry out in a sharp, pained whistle. He stopped. Slowly, carefully, he detached his helmet. The thin atmosphere was breathable, cold and tinged with an unfamiliar scent of ozone and damp soil. He showed his empty hands, then knelt, making himself smaller. Its fear did not abate, but its cries softened to a shaky whimper. He pointed to his own arm, then to its injury. He made a gentle, settling motion with his palms. For a long time they stayed like that, the alien child trembling in the shadow of the wreck, the human soldier kneeling in the dust, utterly still. He opened a pouch on his belt and took out a condensed nutrient bar. He broke off a tiny piece, placed it on a clean leaf, and nudged it forward with the tip of one finger. Hunger, it seemed, was a universal language. The child stared, then one slender hand darted out, snatched the morsel, and retreated. It sniffed and consumed it. He spent the next hour inching closer, until he was near enough to see the fracture clearly. Using splints from a first aid kit and binding from his own uniform, he immobilized the limb. The child flinched but allowed it, its large eyes never leaving his face. He did not know its language. It did not know his. But he knew it was alone, injured, and afraid. He could not leave it. So he stayed. He brought it to his more sheltered crash site. He shared his meager rations, purified water, and showed it how to stay warm by the small heating unit from his pod. He called it Little One in his mind. Days turned into weeks. The child, whom he began to think of as simply the young, started to shadow him. It would mimic his actions, helping to gather dry moss for insulation or holding tools as he tinkered with the beacon. It learned that a certain soft tone in his voice meant comfort, and a sharper one meant danger. It would sleep curled against his side for warmth, its head resting on his armored thigh, its breathing a soft, rhythmic whisper. He, in turn, learned its ways. He learned the subtle shift in its skin tone that meant curiosity, the faint chitter that was contentment. He learned that it liked the taste of the orange nutrient gels best, and that it was fascinated by the small, hololithic image of Earth he kept in his dog tags. He guarded it from the nocturnal predators that sometimes stalked the perimeter. his rifle a silent deterrent in the long, dark nights. He was its protector. It was his purpose. Then the searchers came. It was a consortium vessel, sleek and silent, that descended from the sky one morning. Armed figures poured out, their forms tall and willowy, clad in iridescent armor. They were of the same species as the young, he realized instantly. The child's reaction confirmed it. It gave a trilling shriek of joy and tried to run toward them. Forgetting its healed arm, he stood back, hands visible. As the soldiers surrounded the young, their leader, a figure with more intricate patterning on its armor, swept the child into a tight embrace. There was a rapid, melodic exchange. Then the leader's head turned, those large, black eyes fixed on him. He saw no gratitude there, only a cold, assessing fury. He was seized, disarmed, and dragged aboard their ship without ceremony. His explanations, transmitted through a crude translation device, fell on deaf receptors. He was a human, a species only vaguely known to the consortium, and often associated with mercenary bands and territorial conflicts. He was found with a high-ranking clan's sole offspring. The conclusion they drew was not one of rescue. He expected imprisonment, perhaps execution. Instead, he was taken to their homeworld, a place of soaring crystalline structures and graceful, flowing architecture. He was brought before a ruling council. The leader of the rescue party, he learned, was the child's mother, a matriarch of significant standing. She spoke, her translated voice flat and hard. You trespassed on a restricted moon. You interfered with a survivor of a crash. You contaminated a scion of the High Clan with your presence. Your motives are opaque and assumed hostile. He stood straight, facing her. I guarded her. I fed her. I healed her injury. That is all. The matriarch's expression, unreadable to most, seemed to him to be one of profound, immovable ice. Your actions, regardless of immediate outcome, are an affront. The young will be purified of your influence. You will be consigned to a labor colony for the term of your life. It was then that the young, who had been sitting quietly beside her mother's chair, acted. It slipped down and padded across the polished floor. It ignored the gasps of the attendants. It walked up to him, and before anyone could stop it, it wrapped its two primary arms around his leg in the exact way it had during the cold nights on the moon. It looked up at its mother and emitted a series of clear, firm chirps and whistles. The translation device in his collar crackled to life, rendering the child's speech into his language for the first time. He is my guard. He is warm. He is safe. His song is not scary. He stays. A silence fell, deep and absolute. The matriarch stared. The council murmured. He looked down at the small silver head pressed against his thigh. A gesture of absolute trust forged in shared survival. The matriarch stood. Her gaze moved from her child to him, and the ice in it fractured, revealing a turmoil beneath confusion, pride, and a reluctant, dawning understanding that the universe was more complex than clan protocols. The child had spoken with the unquestionable authority of truth known in the bones. The scion has spoken, the matriarch said, her translated voice now edged with something new. The human's sentence is commuted. He will not go to the labor colony. He felt a wash of relief, short-lived. He will remain, she continued, her eyes locking with his. Here, in the clan hold, the scion has imprinted upon you as a guardian. To remove you would cause lasting harm. You will be given quarters. You will have duties. You will continue your service. It was not freedom. It was a different kind of cage, gilded and strange. He had no choice. To refuse would mean the labor colony, or worse, and would distress the young. He nodded once, a sharp human gesture. I understand. So he stayed. He was given a suite of rooms adjacent to the young's nursery. His duties were vague, primarily consisting of being present. The child, vibrant and happy back in its luxurious environment, insisted he join its lessons, its play in the floating gardens, its meals. He was an odd, solid shadow in a world of delicate light and melody. The matriarch watched. Always she watched. He could feel her gaze during the evening meal, as he showed the young how to construct a simple puzzle from earth. He saw her observing from a balcony as he patiently taught the child a clapping game, the sharp, flat sound alien in the melodic air. Her initial cold fury had not returned, but it had been replaced by a fierce, intense scrutiny. One evening, after the young was asleep, she summoned him to her private terrace. The planet's twin moons cast a soft, blue light. She did not look at him at first. "The scouts retrieved the remains of your pod," she stated. "They analyzed its logs. The distress beacon was active, but its signal was blocked by the moon's unique magnetic field. You could not have called for rescue sooner." He said nothing. "They also found the remains of a large predator near your camp. It had been felled by a single precise kinetic projectile." Now she turned, her luminous eyes capturing him. "You were protecting her long before we arrived. Not just from the elements, from actual harm." "It was my duty," he replied, his voice low. "Your duty was to your own paymasters on that liner," she said. "That duty ended with the crash. What you did after, that was something else." She took a step closer. "My child's song has changed. It is the same, but there is a resilience in it now, a lower harmony. She speaks of your stories of Earth's mountains. She mimics your calm posture in moments of fear. You did not just guard her body,